Well, within situation analysis, what some environment constraints, and I think we have already seen situation analysis in the light of some key examples taken from Richard's book, uh, Curriculum Development in Language Teaching. Right. So, while designing a course, we need to sort out, we need to identify what constraints are there. I mean, the constraint of time, the constraint of class size, the constraint of teacher training. So, we need to identify the constraints and their eventual impact upon the overall design of a language course. Right. Now, we're going to see different constraints, different stakeholders, and the impact of these constraints. We'll see first the learners, and then we'll see the teachers, and then we're going to look at the setting, the where the language program going to take place. Right. Well, the learners, there are general constraints. Well, how this, what do they know? I mean, their proficiency level, whether they are in the elementary level or at the intermediate or tertiary level. We need to find this one out. Okay? But this will become a particular constraint. For example, how their first language be used to help them acquire second language or third language in a better way. In this, for this matter, English, I mean, right. And then we've got its effects on language curriculum design. For example, if some of the learners are proficient enough in their first language, I mean, in a national context, Urdu, for example, how second language and its learning process be facilitated with the help of first language in the classroom. So, it will have a remarkable effect on language curriculum design, right. So, what's going to be the effect then? The teacher might use grammar translation method in the classroom because we need to first find out the constraint of first language and its influence on second language learning. And the teacher might not be resorting to learner-centered methods, or rather welcoming, sort of becoming teacher-fronted classrooms, right. And then we've got some example in the context of the teachers as well. So, there are some general constraints when we talk about the teachers. Are they trained? The element of training is, I think, very significant one. And this general constraint of environment analysis or situation analysis will form its role of a particular constraint. What's its particularity? I mean, when the teachers are trained enough, they can perhaps prepare their materials well. Okay. And what's the effect of overall training of the teachers on language curriculum design? Okay, they could make, they could be, if they are less trained, they could be provided with the ready-made activities. On the other hand, if some of them are adequately trained, they could create their own materials for language teaching, right. And then we've got the example of the situation itself. We've got some general constraints with regard to situation. Okay, let's see. I mean, what's the general constraint with regard to the situation? Is there enough time? Well, the time element is important. How long gonna be the course? Okay. And it will form its a particular role, and it will become, I mean, when we talk about time, we need to identify whether the course will need some intensive attention on the part of the teachers or the administration overall, and what's going to be the effect of this constraint particular on language curriculum design. Okay, so if we identify, for example, how long going to be the course, we will find out to give intensive time or extensive time. Okay, so for that matter, we will sort of grade and we sort of give a coherent flow to the course, starting from its goals to the determination of its contents and principles of language teaching. Okay, so what we have so far gathered from this example of environment constraints is like the environment constraints actually revolves around three elements: who are the learners, who are the teachers, and where is going the specific course is going to take place. And it's important to understand how a constraint can be general one or a particular one, and its overall impact upon language curriculum design.